Pinfalls and Pixels, another great account. If you haven't been watching Pinfalls and Pixels, you've been doing yourself a disservice. They're putting up some great videos. They definitely deserve more than the 7,000 subscribers. So please go subscribe to Pinfalls and Pixels. Give them a like. They do some great works. We're going to be looking at another Pinfall and Pixels video later on. But Pinfall and Pixels, must subscribe. Great videos. Great videos. Good topics. Very well done. But let's get into it. The riot that banned New Japan Pro Wrestling from a sumo hall. Vader's debut. Now, if you don't remember Vader, you're missing out on one of the best big men to ever do it. We look at Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed is watching Vader, right? Bronson Reed is taking some of what he's seen from Vader and doing it now, plus extra, right? He's not a carbon copy of Vader, but you know, we're looking at Vader as an inspiration for Bronson Reed. Vader is absolutely insane, and he is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, without a doubt. I love Vader so much. I'm a big fan of Vader. So let's watch this.
This is Pinfalls and Pixels, where wrestling meets gaming.
Shocking. Bro, that intro was insane. That was awesome. Hell yeah.
I mean, has that ever happened to anyone in the history of professional wrestling? When I beat him in 2 minutes, they got pissed off, legitimately. And they were rumbling and grumbling, and then they sit on pedals, and they lit them on fire, and started throwing them at the ring at me. And, wow. So it got pretty scary, and so they ran me out of the ring, and then they said, no, you can't go to the locker room. Because I went to the locker room, and they have cold beer there. Match was over, so I grabbed a cold beer and sat down and, was starting to unlace my boot. No, you have to leave.
Oh, no.
Because they were coming down the hallway, I guess. So
they lit their seat cushions on fire and hurled them like frisbees into the ring. The normally
That's insane.
Japanese wrestling audience.
Yeah, because if you haven't watched any Japanese events, the crowd is so polite. Like they're pretty quiet for the most part on a lot of different things. They'll clap and cheer for high spots, obviously, but yeah, it's like as far as regular striking, grappling, whatever. At the end of a grappling series, they'll clap. But yeah, for the most part, they're very quiet, very composed, and just enjoying what they're watching. But yeah, this is crazy.
Police were called, and it took over an hour to restore order. But what could possibly provoke such a reaction? The answer lies in the shocking debut of Big Van Vader, a night that would forever change professional wrestling history. By 1987, New Japan Pro Wrestling was facing stiff competition. Antonio Inoki, the company's founder and in-ring star, had built his legacy on a foundation of strong style, a philosophy that blended traditional wrestling techniques with the intensity of martial arts strikes and submission holds, emphasizing realism and discipline in the ring. But New Japan's dominance was fading. Rival promotions.
This is also during an insane time in wrestling history, with All Japan, New Japan. New Japan had a split with Inoki and a handful of people that he had trained and his followers moved to create All Japan, which All Japan is still around today, but it is nowhere near the promotion it used to be. All Japan used to be, right there with New Japan. New Japan and All Japan were very close in relation. to how good the product was and how good the wrestlers were. I think All Japan, we get Pro Wrestling Noah out of All Japan because there was another split. And now Pro Wrestling Noah is doing better than All Japan. But like even I tried to watch All Japan and it's so hard to watch in the US. And I think that's where their big problem is. I can't even watch All Japan. It's on YouTube, but it's like a delayed event. And they're only doing like excuse me. They're only doing like hour-long shows. And it's all right. It's not the best. But WWE does partner with All Japan though. Charlie Dempsey had a match earlier last year, like January, February-ish of last year, I believe. Where he wrestled for their like #1 title. Would lose, but yeah, it could be a really cool partnership for the WWE, but you know, we'll have to see.
All Japan Pro Wrestling was surging in popularity thanks to its effective use of international stars like Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody, who brought a unique blend of physicality and charisma that captivated Japanese audience and contrasted with New Japan's more traditional approach. Meanwhile, New Japan's ratings on TV were slipping, and the company needed a game changer. Inoki had an audacious plan. He wanted to create an unbeatable monster.
That's right. People were against what Inoki was doing and left. That's what it was. It wasn't Inoki left. Inoki stayed with New Japan. That's right.
A larger-than-life villain who could shock audiences and revitalize the promotion. Enter Leon White, a 6'2", 370-pound former football player who had wrestled as Baby Bull in the AWA. Under the guidance of manga artist Go Nagai, White was transformed into Big Van Vader, a mythical samurai warrior connected to the gods, whose very presence would evoke awe and terror. Nagai, known for his work on iconic anime and manga like Mazinger Z and Devilman, brought his talent for creating
I've never heard of either of those, unfortunately.
Vader's design, ensuring the wrestler would stand out as.
Also, I always wondered where this mask would come from in like the WWE games. Yo, what's up, Aiden? What's good, brother? How are you? Hope you're well. Hello, Matt and Krista. Not as many music reactions. Don't know much about music, to be honest with you. Mostly just doing wrestling stuff. I'm glad you're good.
It's both terrifying and memorable. New Japan was betting big on Vader's potential to disrupt the wrestling landscape. At the time, international wrestlers often played the role of antagonists in Japanese promotions. However, Vader was designed to transcend the typical villain trope, embodying an almost supernatural menace that would captivate fans and challenge the boundaries of wrestling storytelling. This gamble would either revitalize New Japan or plunge it into deeper turmoil. Vader's character was steeped in Japanese folklore. Inspired by ancient samurai legends, his backstory painted him as an unbeatable warrior who fought battles so fierce that only death could defeat him. His imposing...
That Vader bomb looks awful. It looks like it hurts so bad. There's no part of me would ever want to take a Vader bomb, especially from a guy who's like pushing 350 and it's solid. It's not a flabby 350. Like you're not getting a lot of cushion out of that.
Metallic helmet resembling ancient samurai armor became an iconic part of his entrance. Equipped with CO2 tanks and glowing eyes, the helmet released dramatic bursts of steam, creating a spectacle that felt both futuristic and mythological. The meticulous effort put into Vader's design was groundbreaking. The helmet alone, crafted with intricate details and mechanical components, became a symbol of his otherworldly power. Leon White treated the helmet as sacred, even kneeling before it in pre-match rituals. The spectacle of Vader's presentation elevated his...
It took that all the way to WCW, which is actually kind of cool.
His character, making him a figure of awe and fear in equal measure. But beneath the theatrics was a clear goal:
Golly.
to present Vader as an unstoppable force who could dethrone Inoki and breathe new life into New Japan. The mythology surrounding Vader's character, combined with White's imposing physicality, created a package that was unlike anything Japanese wrestling fans had seen before. The sold
It's crazy. This is not even just Japanese wrestling fans. Like, Vader is like one of those once in a lifetime talents, who could do everything. He was tough as nails. He could take a hit. He could fly. He could grapple. He could run. He could do whatever he needed to do. That's what's crazy about Vader is we will never see another Vader. We will get people that close to Vader. Like Bronson Reed's close to Vader. Ivar is close to Vader, but we will never get another Vader.
The sold-out crowd at Tokyo Sumo Hall was there to witness a highly anticipated main event between Antonio Inoki and Riki Choshu. However, the match ended abruptly after just 6 minutes, with Inoki winning by disqualification. Fans were already frustrated, feeling cheated out of the competitive showdown they had paid to see. Then, the unthinkable happened. Out of the entrance ramp emerged Vader, led by Masa Sato. Towering over everyone, adorned
so
with his
big
Mastodon helmet, Vader's arrival was both awe-inspiring and jarring. This was no ordinary wrestler. This was a foreigner, disrupting the sacred aura of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Took his shoulder to the groin. Horrifying.
The tension in the arena was electric as the bell rang. The match between Vader and Inoki was shockingly brief. Vader overwhelmed Inoki with a flurry of devastating moves, including a running slam, and pinned him in under 2 minutes. For the first time in 2 years,
Look at that, Hogan. We just got done talking about Hogan.
and only the second time in a decade, Inoki had been defeated. To add insult to injury, Vader continued his assault after the match, breaking Inoki's nose and attacking young wrestlers who tried to intervene. This relentless display of dominance was designed to establish Vader as an unstoppable force, but it had an unintended consequence. The crowd's confusion turned to outrage. Seat cushions were set ablaze, creating an eerie glow in the dimly lit arena, and the sight of burning cushions soaring.
It's crazy that they burned the seat cushions. They were so mad they started destroying the arena. Like, this isn't unnormal. Like, this isn't something unheard of, right? This happens a lot in Hispanic wrestling arenas, but that is crazy.
The air like fiery comets left a haunting impression. Programs, beer cans, and other debris rained down on the ring, forming a chaotic storm of objects that underscored the audience's fury. The sheer volume of projectiles turned the ring into a battlefield, with staff scrambling for safety as the normally reserved crowd unleashed their unmatched anger. The chaos escalated into a full-blown riot, with police called in to restore order. It would take over an hour to clear the arena.
That's so crazy.
The riot's intensity reflected the deep connection Japanese fans had with their wrestling heroes. Inoki's sudden and humiliating defeat felt like a betrayal, and the audience's reaction was unparalleled in the history of New Japan Pro Wrestling. The riot would go down as one of the most infamous incidents in professional wrestling. The riot had immediate and lasting consequences. New Japan Pro Wrestling was temporarily banned from Sumo Hall for 8 months.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They destroyed Sumo Hall. If I owned a venue and I let somebody in and they destroyed it, I probably would never let them back. It makes a lot of sense.
The promotion's reputation took a hit. New Japan Pro Wrestling's programming was forced to take a less desirable time slot, further straining the company's finances. Wrestlers faced salary cuts, and the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling seemed uncertain.
Is it Ted DiBiase?
But Inoki's gamble
And it's
ultimately
Hogan.
paid off. The controversy surrounding Vader's debut generated massive interest. Fans flocked to see whether anyone could defeat the monster who had crushed Inoki. Over time, Vader became one of New Japan's biggest draws, engaging in legendary rivalries, and cementing his legacy as one of the greatest super heavyweights in wrestling history. The aftermath of this event also reshaped New Japan's approach to booking. The company began to experiment more with dramatic storytelling and high-stakes matches, recognizing the value of creating
Bro,
moments.
having Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader on a tag team is actually crazy. Because we're looking at Vader as one of the greatest big men of all time. Bam Bam Bigelow is also on that list. He is not far from the number one spot. And you could argue to swap the two between the number one spot. That is insane. New Japan was on some crack when they put those two together. I bet those matches were crazy.
That resonated deeply with fans. For Vader, this night solidified his reputation as a global wrestling icon, opening doors to legendary runs in WCW and WWE. One such moment was his iconic match against Sting at WCW Starrcade in 1992, where his athleticism and brutality helped redefine what a super heavyweight wrestler could be, earning him accolades as one of the sport's most versatile performers. Big Van Vader's debut remains one of the most dramatic moments in wrestling history. It showcased the power of storytelling, the importance of larger-than-life characters, and how unpredictable a live audience could be. For Leon White, this night marked the beginning of an illustrious career that spanned decades, earning him accolades as one of wrestling's most iconic villains. Antonio Inoki's choice to lose so decisively was a testament to his willingness to put the business above his own legacy. In the years that followed,
if you don't know who Antonio Inoki is, he is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Without a doubt. You can argue a couple other people, but Antonio Inoki is without a doubt one of the best wrestlers of all time.
He and Vader would face off multiple times, with each encounter building upon the mythology created on that fateful night in 1987. This event also underscored the cultural differences in wrestling audiences. While American fans often embrace shocking twists, the Japanese audience's reaction highlighted their deep emotional investment in the sport's traditions and heroes. The riot at Sumo Hall remains a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of live events and the passion that wrestling can inspire. What do you think about the night Vader caused a riot in Sumo Hall? Was it a bold move that revitalized New Japan, or did it cross the line? And what are your favorite Vader moments? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more wrestling history from Pinfalls and Pixels.
Yeah, definitely like and subscribe to Pinfalls and Pixels. It's a great video. I think this saved New Japan, in my opinion. Looking at it now, New Japan is one of the top promotions in the world. And I think if they don't do this and don't change the way they think about how they book and how they set matches and who wins and how they're doing everything, we don't have New Japan today. We're probably looking at New Japan like we look at All Japan, where they're just doing a YouTube show, and that's all the only way you can find them without going to see them live. Which is kind of crazy to think about with how successful they are. They had 2 huge events last weekend, and they have a couple more huge events coming up pretty soon. And to think that Vader played a huge part in them still being a company is insane. Yeah, great video. It is linked in the Discord if you want to go watch it for yourself. But yeah, W video.